Hello.
Hello.
We are here at our house. We built a fire,
Yes.
and this is a big deal because we've had a lot of drama going on with the fire.
We've got the cops called on us 3 times. They've showed up here and said that we needed to be cooking over it for it to be a burrow-friendly fire. Mm-hmm. So we're not cooking anything now, but who cares, you know?
We'll see.
Screw them.
And the thing is that we thought that our neighbors were calling the cops on us, and then they moved. So this is kind of like our test to see, like, if the new neighbors also hate us.
So if the cops show up, you'll know why.
But today we wanted to kind of do something fun, and we wanted to read some people's wedding and client horror stories because we just feel like everyone has them, and it just kind of sometimes, like, if you are just in the world of, like, service in general, you kind of see other people and just think, like, oh, no one ever treats them badly, or, oh, like, they don't have those horror stories. And then whenever you finally get to hanging out with people and talking about it, I feel like it just kind of, like, makes you feel less alone and, like, makes you feel like we all have these weird situations.
And plus it's fun, so let's read them.
Yes. We have our chai, by the way. We love chai. There's a caterpillar there. Is he dead?
Where?
Right there.
Oh, hi, buddy. Yeah, don't touch him, but yeah,
Okay.
he's dead.
Here you go.
Okay. So we did a little poll, a little question thing on our Instagram, and we got, like, all these people to send in some crazy stories from weddings.
And just, like, clients.
Some client experiences, thought it'd be fun to share. So let's share around the fire, a little fireside chat.
Here's the first one. I texted the bride on accident instead of my second shooter, telling her I was going to have a wedgie all day.
That's classic. It's classic texting the bride, something that you never meant to.
Wait, it's like whenever you commented, that, like, wasn't mean at all, but Tanner was, like, in the background of one of this bride's photos on the dance floor, and I sent it to him, and he responded, "Kill me," but it was to the bride, not to me, and she was just like, "LOL," and he was like, "No, I'm sorry, I just look bad in that photo."
This person says, "Oh lordy, let me go off for a minute." Mother kissed her son, the groom, on the mouth, probably more than the bride did.
I feel. What is everyone's
I don't understand. There's so much smoke. Just ignore the smoke. It's fine.
I don't understand. Like, everyone has a different stance on this. Like, some people are just like, yeah, my family just kisses each other on the mouth.
Yeah. I have an uncle that kisses me straight on the mouth and kisses Jenna right on the mouth. And not gonna lie, it's it's whatever, but, like, I don't know. It's
interesting.
It's interesting.
Interesting with a mother-son dynamic.
Yeah.
Little Oedipus complex, maybe.
Oh, it's like a Tom Brady thing, Have you seen the Tom Brady thing?
No.
Where he kisses his son on the lips?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's questionable, but
when they're a kid, it's different.
How young? When's the cutoff? 5?
7.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's up to you, Lead your family how you may.
Okay, here's the next one. The mother-in-law was really cold. I guess she and the bride never got along well, but they were okay enough to be in the family photo together post-ceremony. Imagine not getting along with someone that you couldn't even stand in a photo with them. The first dance was later in the evening. The mother-in-law took some shots during the reception. Oh, took some shots. So she was a little drunky.
Wow.
After the newlywed first dance, the groom went to ask his mom to dance, and they argued briefly. The bride went over because, hello, that's awkward, and the mother-in-law shoved her. Oh my God, it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, so a little fight breaking out at the wedding. You hate to see that.
Was she mad that the groom danced with the bride? Like, she was like, "That's my son." Yeah. This is another situation.
It's probably an overarching theme of all these is, like, a pretty weird complex of mom and son.
I feel like that's an overarching theme just in general with, like, weddings and stuff is like just people's like mom and son dynamic being weird. Like the mom like never wants to let go of the son, and like she like controls it and like thinks that no one is good enough for her son and stuff. And honestly, I feel like that comes from the mom not being satisfied with her marriage, so she gets like her affirmation from the kids.
Yeah.
The kids in general.
A little therapy session, perhaps.
Yeah.
We need to do with all our couples. Maybe we should include that in our packages. Not really a horror story, more of a what the frick story. A bride booked me as her photographer. She paid the deposit, but eventually stopped answering my emails. One day, I'm scrolling through Instagram stories and see another photographer post about meeting her new wedding client, my bride. Hasn't heard a thing about it. I was so confused. Emailed my bride asking her about it and told her I could not refund the deposit. The worst part, this lady was a former wedding photographer. A little ghost. I mean, you still got your bag.
Yeah, that
You know,
sucks.
so-
That sucks so bad, especially finding out on Instagram. You're just kind of like,
Like, oh, there she is.
oh.
I mean, seriously,
love
you get
that.
your money. So,
Yeah, it would be worse if they were like, and I want my deposit back.
Yeah.
And you're like,
just no communication, though. You're just going to ghost me.
That actually happened to us once when we very first started. It was just me doing photo. It was just me doing photo for a wedding. And they booked me. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, hey, we actually found someone that we like better. So can we have our deposit back? And I was like, no. And they were like, we're taking you to court. And I was like terrified. So I did end up giving them their money back. But that was a mistake on my part. But I was like 20 and had no idea what was going on.
Sorry, I had to move because the smoke.
It's probably going to follow us now.
Yeah, whatever. I got asked to cover a wedding for a fellow photographer friend who unexpectedly had to go out of town and wasn't able to shoot a wedding any longer. He put me in contact with the mother of the bride, and things seemed completely normal. It was going to be a normal 25-person wedding on a Thursday afternoon. Sus. For only like 5 hours of coverage.
It's never a good sign when like the mother is doing things or like someone else. Like the bride and groom should probably be the one doing it.
Yeah. Since it was last minute and they booked me, in quotations, booked me a week before the wedding and everything seemed normal, I didn't have them sign a contract. Big mistake. Huge.
Huge.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
Again, everything was normal leading up to the wedding, and everything was normal the day of. The bride was so chill and laid back, so much that she changed out of her wedding dress before evening portraits, and clearly didn't think much of anything that was going on, and was fine taking golden hour portraits in a Target sundress. About a week after the wedding, the mother of the bride starts texting me asking when the photos would be done. I sent them previews that week, hoping that it would hold them over until I could finish the gallery. Again, wrong. After I sent the previews, the bride emails me and says, also, is there pictures where our feet aren't cut off?
When they start getting particular about this type of thing, you're kind of like, you're kind of giving me red flag vibes.
I thought we weren't doing feet for free, by the way.
That's our motto.
That's literally Sold Photo and Film's motto, no feet for free. She goes, hey, if we could not get those feet cut off, I'm not a big fan of the feet being cut off. She's huge on the feet not being cut off.
She loves the feet.
Yeah,
she
she
needs
loves the feet.
and
Yeah, I know that these are previews, and there's so many more, but I figured I should just ask now. Weird, but all right. They continue to harass me, and again, since I didn't have them sign a contract, I'm just like, fine, I'll just finish them so they're out of my hair. I sent them on Friday and sent them off. A week goes by, and I never heard anything. And I was like,
hear from them again.
yeah, I was like, whatever, I never need to hear from them again. The mom texts me on the following Thursday and says, where are the photos? I told her I'd already sent them, and she found her in their email and said that everything looked great and basically thanks and have a nice life. That was 11 p.m. on Thursday night. I wake up to the paragraphs of text on 5 a.m. Friday morning, the mom completely flipping out and saying her feet were cut off in the photos. Buddy, enough. The feet were cut off in the photos.
Not the feet.
The editing looked like her 16-year-old grandson could have done better and demanded a refund. After countless paragraphs of text, her legitimately harassing me, telling me the sad part is that you actually think that these photos are good.
That's literally so rude. That is so rude. Like, even if you're unhappy, just be nice. Just be like, I'm sorry. I just wasn't like, this isn't what I was really looking for.
Yeah, very rude. After countless paragraphs and texts of her actually harassing me and telling me the sad part, she says, buddy, enough. She says, I didn't capture the moments of the day and was constantly looking through my lens the whole wedding. Oh, did I mention that she threatened to take me to court if I didn't get her? It's always court. They're always saying court. I essentially responded back and saying I don't refund photos just because you don't like them. I showed up and provided a survey. It's not my fault that you don't like my style. She had seen my previous galleries, and she was fine with that.
And also, I feel like it's like so important, like if that's such a big deal to you, like the feet being cut off, like before the wedding, like just be specific about it and be like, hey, I'd really prefer these are full body like photos, including the feet. And like the things that communicate
If you want feet in your photos, you gotta ask.
You gotta ask. Okay, here's the next one. I was photographing a wedding in the backyard of the groom's parents' house. They put up a tent earlier that day because it had been raining so much recently. The rain held off for that day, which was great, but the ground was still very muddy and they hadn't rented a floor for in the tent. Yikes. We were rushed for time beforehand, so during dinner I grabbed the bride and groom's rings and went to get some detail shots. I'm scared of where this is going. I grabbed the bride and groom's rings and went to get some detail shots. When I brought them back to the head table, I handed them to the bride and groom. The bride immediately put hers on, but the groom was mid-conversation with a guest and she must have set his ring on the table. A little while later, I noticed a commotion and then see the bride run off bawling and the groom run off into the woods. I walk over to investigate and found out...
Is he Edward Cullen? Where is he going?
I walk over to investigate and found on the groom had lost his ring and it was squished into the mud somewhere. The bride was so upset and the groom brought back a pitchfork as we all dug through the mud using my LED panel to try and find his ring. It was a hot mess. Eventually we calmed the bride down and someone actually found the ring. Okay. I'm so glad it wasn't the photographer's fault because that would be horrifying if you lost it. See, I feel like I wouldn't be like crying. If you lost your ring, if I lost mine, it was a diamond, I would be mad.
Right.
But a groom's ring?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Those are cheap. A little dime. I mean, like, how much did you pay? Like $300? You can survive.
Yeah.
Did you pay 3-year salary, like they say? No, I mean, it's probably like what? I don't know, $2,000 for a diamond. At least it wasn't that.
Yeah.
This girl says, so honestly, the one thing I was appalled at is when the bride's mom, right before dinner, told me that it stinks that I won't be able to eat because the food is very good and, you'll be working. You hate to see that. What's the story of the guy that, literally just left and deleted the card because he was denied food?
We've never had someone not let us eat. We've had many people not give us a seat.
Yeah.
But we have never not gotten food, thank God.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it's in our contract.
Yeah, you gotta give us food.
We're there for 8 to 10 hours.
I'm hungry.
I'm starving. Okay, as promised, here is...
This is like our worst idea ever.
Yeah. This is a little chaotic right now. This is probably 2.5 years ago. We just did a little giveaway for fun on our Instagram. Just a free mini session, and it was just a fun little thing, and we were just wanting to be generous. And so we offered it and someone won it and we're like, okay, cool. About 3 days before the mini session was scheduled, something came up, and so I reached out to her and said, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to reschedule. Is there any time within the next few weeks that would work for you to do the free session, the 15-minute free session? She comes back with pages and pages of how horrible I am and just that I'm the worst person she could imagine, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, so sorry, no worries. I thought that was the end of it. Buddy. Okay.
The damage is done.
Damage is done. A few days later, I get a message from a popular Facebook group for wedding vendors in our area. Anyone and everyone is in it. The bride had it wasn't a bride, it was just a person, reached out to them and told them that we lied to clients, that we're dishonest business owners, that we have horrible business practices, all these things, all over a free mini session that was that I asked to reschedule very nicely. So Pittsburgh Wedding Community then kicked us out of the group. I am still upset about it. She basically tried to ruin our business. She went to multiple other groups and things and basically was like, cancel this business. So that was really honestly scary. She wrote horrible reviews on our Facebook page. It was just absolutely the worst.
I do have a wedding horror story, I think. This one time at this one wedding, it was a drunk wedding, where everyone just got wasted, just nuts. And there was a bunch of college kids, and we do love some college kids making it fun,
Yeah.
They
give us good footage.
Yeah. And so that was a good time. But the women at this wedding were on menace time and just would not stop harassing me.
They were all obsessed with Tanner from the get-go. Even during dinner they were saying
they were eyeing me up. I knew it. I was like, oh God, this is no good. They pretty much just I've never really felt uncomfortable at women hitting on me or something like that. It does make me.
Never felt how it feels to be a woman.
Yeah, no, in that moment I feel like I did.
Yeah.
They would not stop, and I kept saying, stop, I'm married and I'm working.
Yeah.
I felt very uncomfortable. Usually when I get hit on, it's just,
You're like,
oh, thank you, I'm married,
Yeah.
No, these girls, persistent.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Their boyfriends were there too, and that caused a huge fight. Not just me, but these girls were hitting on other men as well. And this one girl kissed another guy, and the boyfriend did not like that, and they almost got into a physical altercation at the wedding. They had to hold me back. Hold me back, Well, thank you for listening. Happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate you.
And we hope that this made you feel less alone. Everyone has...
Maybe provide some entertainment.
Yes, everyone has horror stories from weddings and clients, and I just feel sometimes it's fun to all just talk about them.
Yeah. Thank you, though. Love you. See you soon.
Love you. Happy Thanksgiving.